Hello, my name's Kurt B. Johnson. The title of my book is Unstoppable AI, Authentic Intelligence. It's within you. Everything you're going to learn and discover within this book is based on my life's experiences. I guess you could say I'm an experiential philosopher. I'm an experiential learner as well. I believe everything that has been said before, and I'm not the first one to say this, and these things that you'll discover within this book. It just hasn't been said by me. And I think whether it's Jesus, the Buddha, whoever you follow, these information has probably been around for hundreds of thousands of years, perhaps millions. So my story, I've truly survived 3 life crises in my life, and I've learned so much through them. You wouldn't expect me to be writing a book if you knew me at the age of 20. I suffered I call it my Texas experience, which left me with, after the experience I was tested, they said I had brain damage. I was left with a 3rd grade reading level and an IQ below 70. So for me to be standing here writing a book, through this process, I began to heal by working with my hands. I became a carpenter, and that's where I think my experiential philosophy kind of came in, which would enable me to write this book. So beyond being a carpenter, as I was celebrating in my 20s, coming over this life crisis I experienced, which is the Texas experience, I really enjoyed drinking and I liked to build. We'd hit happy hours and whatnot. So I put my 2 trades together as a carpenter and as a drinker, and I built this bar we're standing in, Shawbucks, back in March 31st, 1995. We opened to the public. 5 months before that, when I was building, October 1994, 2 weeks after I signed my lease with Downtown Development Agency, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. So I literally had to build this bar probably a week after I found out. I had surgery, gave Dr. Walter my left testicle. I still have ball though, so that's why things still move on for me. And so through the process of building Shawbucks, it was a burned out bar called The Main Event, located at 200 Lafayette Street, Jamestown, New York. I literally would have to go to Roswell Park every 2.5 to 3 weeks for a week-long session of chemotherapy, which was a cocktail of VP16 and something else, which is actually known as mustard gas, committing suicide to the point where I lived and the cancer died. But through this process, somehow I was able to build Shawbucks. And 2 weeks after my last chemo treatment, Shawbucks opened to the public. So that's a crazy life, crazy experience. So what I've learned through all these life crises and experiences is that I've tapped into this energy within me, which is authentic intelligence, the authentic intelligence of love. But to truly understand what this book is about is to get the fact that fear is your friend, and fear is part of a guidance system that assists you and will help and guide you through life. So the opposite of fear is love, and love has no opposites. So we have already, if you're going to have an authentic intelligence within you, and it's what I call the energy within me. Jesus called it heaven is within. My life's kind of unfold once upon a question. I question everything, and that's probably what made me a good experiential learner, because I could ask questions as I'm building and learn. And I guess this goes back to age 4, at preschool, pre-K at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church. I asked Maria Welker, who's boss here, God or pastor? And I truly believe It and it was a story that I guess Pastor Bergstrand wouldn't let me take a wood toy outside, and I was upset, and Maria found me in the corner just bawling, and I couldn't get my air together to, I had the big alligator tears as a child would, and I was huffing and puffing and couldn't breathe. And when Maria finally calmed me down, she said, "What's the matter? What's the matter? Please tell me." And I finally said, "I just got to know, who's boss here, pastor or God?" And so we're in a critical time here, and when we're not allowed to question the answers we've been given, we have some serious problems. And so my life has all been about questioning the answers I've been given, whether it's religion, whether it's health, whether it's building. Why am I building this way? Why did we pick this site? So my life has unfolded once upon a question, and I think it's time that we truly do dig in, no matter what it is, to question the answers we've been given. This is our way forward. I have a podcast. It's called Change Point. And it's about developing a clear vision beyond 2020, and it's how life unfolds once upon a question. And I just want answers to questions. It's one thing not to have an answer to a question, but it's another thing not to be allowed to question the answers. And within this book, I want to assist people to realize that everything has an equal and opposite. Just like water has hot and cold, they're both identical, they're just on two different poles. So when I talk about the energy within me, I do Mindful Mondays. It's about the authentic intelligence of love, and it's about the artificial intelligence of fear. So you have to have both energies. And the way it was given to me in my Texas experience, which I'll talk more on, was life was like a battery, and you have a positive pole, which is love, and you have fear, which is the outgoing separation from love, but then you also have the return of love. And I believe, that we are all different points of perception from the one source, and I believe like the one divided itself into the many for the joy of becoming one again. And that's what fear does for us. It assists us to a return to the state of love, peace, and harmony. It's not bad, it's not good. I love the Shakespeare quote that nothing's bad or good, but thinking makes it so. And there's so much truth to that. Bruce Lipton said that, it's your perception, stupid, I think in chapter 2 of his book, Biology of Belief. But also, it's electric stupid. And I believe we're wired with our perception electrically with positive or negative perceptions. And once you understand that, that becomes the intelligence within you. It's a love-based intelligence that's authentic, or it's a fear-based intelligence that's false. And so as we dive into this book, I just truly want everyone to realize that the energy within me, by definition, energy is the ability to create motion or movement. And by definition we have two choices of energy that create movement within us and within our thoughts and within our environment. And that is, we have the energy of love. We can create movement through compassion, kindness within ourselves and within others, or you could say we have the freedom to choose love to create movement through the compassion, kindness, and you have the free doom to create movement through shame, guilt, lack, limitation. And as we come together and understand that this is an authentic intelligence, and we're basically wired with pluses and minuses, just like a computer's wired with zeros and ones. And it's possible we have that 0 and 1 within us. So if you look at the two poles like a battery, to truly get this, you would have love as one pole and fear would be the other pole. And they're basically identical, even though love has no opposites and the opposite of fear is love. All these energies, shame, guilt, lack, limitation, are between these poles. They're just different degrees, different frequencies, different different notes, between the poles. Hate is simply just electrical vibrational frequency between the poles of love and fear. Shame is, guilt, embarrassment. What is embarrassment? You're afraid of what other people think. And as we get more into this book, you'll discover that that's what really creates movement within yourself. And the me really, for me, stands for mindful eatery. Mindfulness is simply the awareness of what gives you energy and what takes it away. And I believe that there are three factors. Your diet, you're consuming a diet of food, you're consuming a diet of thought, and you're consuming a diet of your environment. Your thoughts precede your biology, but also your biology precedes your thought. Your diet, your mood precedes your diet of food, and your food precedes your mood. And your environment is the combination of what the energy is within you that you're tapping into. You're either wired positive, optimistic, and you get more of life unfolds through that, through positive experiences, and it's just waking up to the fact that you're wired